Over federal voting rights legislation amid a renewed push to get the Democrats' bills across that finish line. The proposed measures would make Election Day a federal holiday and expand early voting in mail-in voting. Lawmakers and activists actually held rallies in honor of Martin Luther King Jr. yesterday, invoking Dr. King's teachings to demand better access to the ballot. But the Senate vote appears doomed to fail again, as two key Democratic senators are still standing in the way. For more, let's bring in Marc Morial, president of the National Urban League and former mayor of New Orleans, where I was a young reporter in that day. Good to see you, Mr. Mayor.
Hey, good to see you, Kira. Good morning.
Good morning. All right, you have been, Mark, as expected, very outspoken about the need for federal voting rights legislation. Put into perspective for us, for you, how critical you feel it is to pass these measures.
Let me offer for instance, 7 out of 10 Americans in the 2020 election chose to vote by a means other than going to the precinct on Election Day and casting their ballot. They voted by mail. They early voted. They dropped their ballot in a drop box, or they absentee voted. Many of these laws that are being passed around the nation would eliminate those options or severely restrict those options. What, in fact, one of these bills does is it sets national standards that protects Americans' options when it comes to voting. The second bill protects against discrimination, racially motivated gerrymandering, racially motivated poll closings, racially motivated laws that are designed to do nothing other than make it more difficult for people to vote, with a focus on Black, brown, indigenous, disabled, and young Americans. So these bills are consistent with the longstanding principle we've had in this country, which is to make voting available, accessible, and fair for all Americans. This is the first time, and we'll witness this today, and I'm glad there's going to be a vote, because every member of the Congress and every member of the Senate in this instance should be on the record in terms of where they stand. Historically, voting rights has never been partisan. Democrats and Republicans have joined together in 1965, in 1962, in 1972, in 1982, and most recently in 2006, when some 10-plus Republicans voted in the Senate. 10-plus Republicans who remain in the Senate voted in favor of the last extension of the Voting Rights Act. So we need to know where people stand. One thing I'm clear on is that the American people believe that voting should be uninhibited, unrestricted, that there should be no discrimination in voting, and that the protection of democracy is foundational. Some members of the Senate appear to be out of touch with their own constituents and with this bedrock principle of American democracy.
Well, and as you know, Democrats do not have the votes to pass these bills right now. President Biden and Democrat leaders, they want to carve out an exception to the Senate's filibuster rules that would allow them to pass these voting rights bills with a simple majority. But, Mark, as you know, those two senators within their own party still standing in the way. We're talking, of course, about Manchin and Sinema. What is your message to them as they are holding strong and not budging?
In this instance, on today, if they do not vote to carve out the filibuster, they are choosing an archaic Senate rule over the long-standing value of American democracy. Now, we will not give up working to convince them, as well as members of the Republican caucus, that they should stand up for American democracy. This is going to be the beginning of a new round in this fight for democracy. A loss on the vote today does not mean the end of this fight. Those who think it means the end of this fight are certainly imagining things. We're going to continue to work. We're going to continue to fight. And I'm disappointed in not only Senator Manchin and Senator Sinema, but also those Republican members who in the past have voted for voting rights, including Leader McConnell, Mr. McConnell, who somehow have changed their position at a time when American democracy is at stake. American democracy is the foundation of this nation. It is a value, and we should not, on one hand, pronounce that we're fighting for democracy abroad and allow it to be restricted and fettered away here at home. So this fight, this battle for voting rights and for American democracy is really just beginning.
Well, as you know, that democracy comes with lots of debate, and as soon as the Senate opens up its session on the floor, we are going to take our viewers there live and follow it all. National Urban League President Marc Morial. Mark, always great to see you.
Hey, great to be with you, Kira. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.